Hello everyone, I'm Jaden from New South Wales, Australia, or originally from Tassie boy, grew up, born and bred, but have been in New South Wales for work, specifically Sydney. What a hellhole, but let's not get into that. Anyway, I bought an abandoned farm. I'm going to make it into a nice little self-sufficient homestead, and I'm here to give you a little bit of a tour today. So this is the outside of the property. It's already been recycled once, so this is originally 2 snowy hydro houses. So here's one, then he's joined them together, then here's the next house here. So we'll just walk around here. This is a bathtub I removed. I'm going to make an outdoor bath out of that. More of the house. He's built a dam down here, leaky because he hasn't lined it with clay or anything. So I was thinking about filling it in a little bit and then lining it, make it into a natural swim pond, which I think that would be pretty cool. Maybe put some fish and some yabbies in there. We'll see how we go. I need to do a bit more research on that, and it would be cool to make like a little artificial waterfall coming down into it and stuff. That'd be awesome. Landscape this, make it really cool. Anyway, back to the house. Sorry, talking about plans, got sidetracked. So here's more of the house, the water tank, harvest all my own water, so drinking water, bathing water, not connected to any grid, way too far away from anything to be connected to a grid. Alright, coming around the back of the house, you know, despite how it looks, it's decent bones. It's mostly cosmetic. A few things do need replacing, but you know, it's nothing major. It's not like I could tear down the house. Just improve it a little bit. Have a look on the inside. So here, lounge room, quite big. I'll just shut this door. It's a bit cold and windy. Nice big lounge room. I have already done work before doing this video tour. I apologise for not doing one when I got here right away, but I just wanted to get stuck in. I'm going to make this into an office. Always wanted a red office for some reason, don't know why. I do like it, and I was thinking maybe building some bookshelves here, and like a little ledge. Have a bookshelf, so it'd be like a little reading hollow there. Is that what you call it? A hollow or groove? Little table, seat? Not sure. Maybe more bookcases, desk. This would be the dining room. More than enough room to fit a good sized dining table in, and you know, decorate it accordingly. I've changed the colour. It was all original Kermit the Frog green. Like this new colour though. It's quite good on the eyes. Kitchen. The kitchen is massive. Here is the laundry. So I was thinking in here, stack these, maybe up a little bit more. And then here, make sort of a boot room closet. So all the rain jackets and then dirty boots and stuff, so you're never dragging things into the lounge room. Then of course this is like the back door here. That's how you access it. One of the best features of the house is this slow combustion stove. It does all the hot water, the heating, and all the cooking on this. So I've got no other way to cook but this. I've got it going today. As I said, it's freezing today, so I've got it doing that. So there's actually a radiator system connected to the hot water cylinder. There's no electricity connected to the hot water cylinder. It's just all through that. All through the slow combustion stove. And then in every single room they've got these radiators, which is just when you turn on the little recirculating pump, it just pumps hot water through all of these, but you can turn them on and off. So if you just want to heat a few of the rooms up, because it does take a lot of energy away from the hot water. And by energy I just mean the thermal energy. Alright, so we'll walk down here. Got my favourite streamer on, just in the background. I'm here alone, so yeah, I like something on in the background every now and then just to make it a little bit less lonely, I guess. So this is sort of like one of the, first rooms where he's joined the houses. I could make this into an ensuite because there's a bedroom right here. If I wanted to, there's electrical wires in the way, so probably not a great idea for me to do that myself. I'd have to get enough Sparky and have a look. But I'm just using it to store tools and stuff because I had them scattered all over rooms and I couldn't find anything. Not smart, wasting so much time. This is one of the first little bedrooms, as I said, radiator system. Turn it on, get some heat if I want. This is just spare bedding from when my dad came and stayed with me. He stayed for me for the first 2 weeks just to help me settle in a bit. And then this could be made into an ensuite, more than enough room to be made into an ensuite if I wanted to. It depends. I might just line it for now, keep it as a closet, because it's just me here, but maybe I'll start up an Airbnb or, let people come and stay and then they can all have their own bathrooms. That would be probably ideal if I was to do that. Here is the bedroom I'm staying in. The whole house was covered in this except for the pink bedroom and the blue bedroom. So this is the Kermit the Green paint I was talking about. Very interesting colour choice. Yeah, please forgive my messiness. I'm living out of bags while I do the renovation. I just didn't want to waste a heap of time setting up a bedroom first and, just get stuck in, just get to work, pretty much. I'm just shutting the door because I've got the radiator on to make the bedroom warmer. Toilet, separate toilet, good. I hate it when the toilet's in the bathroom. Big bathroom. This is the main bathroom. There was a fireplace here, so I've removed that. It was sort of enclosed into the hallway. Yeah, just ignore my shoddy work. It's not that shoddy, actually. It's all just cosmetic crap. But that's going to be tiled to the ceiling anyway, so just as long as the walls are solid, that's good and can support the weight of those tiles. So down here, this is sort of like the back, probably the front was the front entrance for the other house. Just storing, it's just been too cold for me to have the tractor out and, wasting time working outside, so I'm just storing a heap of the demoed stuff here, and then when it's a little bit warmer and I feel like doing some outside work, I'll get the tractor and the bucket and I'll throw it off the balcony into the bucket and we'll get rid of all this crap. Alright, so this will be the master bedroom. I don't mind the shade of blue, it's quite nice, but I will change it just a little bit darker. I just want to make it a little bit more cozy. As I said, radiator in every room, which is great. This has an ensuite with the toilet in it. Can't help that, it's an ensuite, it's tiny. I was doing some demo works yesterday, ripping out what wall wasn't suitable for retiling because I've had to remove the tiles. Bit of a walk-in closet here. I'll get that all sorted out. And then you've got a door that goes to nowhere, actually, just a big, let me open it, actually. It's quite funny. I'm guessing their plans were to build a balcony, but they never got around to it. But yeah, it just goes out, straight out, big drop. It's good because I can drive the tractor up to it with the bucket and put the bucket there and just throw everything into the bucket and get rid of it. But yeah, I will build a wraparound veranda around the house and that'll be cool. Well, here's the ensuite, it's tiny. Yeah, so I've had to remove some of this cement sheeting because it was in even worse condition than what this was. And I'll get some new cement sheeting and get rid of the taps down there, so I've got to do some replumbing and stuff. It's all the old style, that's screwed on, but that's all soldered, so that's a little bit more difficult. I'm going to have to get my dad on FaceTime to walk me through it. Other than that, I just can't get a plumber up here to do those little jobs. I'm 45 minutes away from a town, pretty much. They're going to just charge me an absolute arm and a leg. All right, we're now back and outside. Let's go for a little look around, eh? Right, so I'm just walking up my driveway here. If I didn't mention before, I'm in the Snowy Mountains in New South Wales, just under Mount Kosciuszko. in the mountain shadow technically, but still a fair distance away from me. Mostly sheep and cattle country here. Too cold for dairy. Too much of a highland. You come up here under the power lines because this is the only part of the property they've sort of kept pasture. They've let the rest overgrow after logging. You can see actually a decent amount if you got rid of all this, well not all of it, but a bit of that crap. Probably graze. I've got 100 acres, so I've got plenty of land. Let's walk down here a bit, eh? See what we find. Sorry, it is absolutely freezing today. I didn't put on a jacket, but the walk will make me warm, so that's all good. Right. Let's go exploring in the highland bush, eh? Here looks good, Wallaby Trail. The animals know best. You can see here some poo-poo, also grass. So probably what I'm gonna do is thin out this bush. So obviously, like these bigger trees, by bigger I mean they're not huge, but you know, like a tree like that, you're obviously gonna leave. But then like these little saplings, get rid of a good 80 to 90% of them, because you need some for regrowth because these trees are gonna die. But for the most part, they're just taking up space, and they're not letting the grass thrive. I'll have to make this into some quite decent pasture. You know, farm it regenerative style, Sylvia pasture, or Silvo pasture, if that's pronounced correctly. This fence is definitely in the wrong spot. I am definitely within my property. So, probably from the original sheep. And yeah, this land's been subdivided and redivided and combined a few times, so this fence is definitely in the wrong spot. So, fuck it, let's go through it. I know I still own to about 800 meters that way, and then about a kilometre and a half that way. Then probably 150, 200 meters that way. So this is actually beautiful ground. Like, if this was fenced properly to stop so many kangaroos and wallabies and wombats on it, yeah, I could run cattle in here. Definitely some goats. I love goats. Love dairy goats. That was my first farm, dairy goating. Didn't work out so well. I lost everything to floods, but you know, that's life. Life goes on. Alright. So, still got a few 100 meters until my border. And haven't really been down here before. I'm sort of following this trail here. The wildlife are doing. Wild kangaroos. Hopefully no wild pigs. Don't have any means on me to defend myself against a wild pig. Right, so we're coming down here to like tea trees, so that's for my area, my zone that I'm in. That's the short tail sign that we're in swamp. Here's a wombat hole. Look at that. Jeez, I like getting in there, don't they? Dig, 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 dig. Little bugger. You wouldn't be riding here through with a horse, would you? Step in that. here you can see the signs where we've had wild pigs, but not for a while. This has been done quite a while ago. Not fresh, not muddy. But they're around, definitely around. Let's come up here. So it actually snowed here not that long ago. Quite beautiful, but yeah. No, I'm surprised with how much undergrowth of grass there is. That is fantastic. I'm going to be able to farm, you know, what we would call here in Australia as hobby farm. I'm not doing it for an income, I'm doing it for subsistence, to supplement myself going to the supermarket, raising my own food. You know, more than enough room for chickens up there around the house, and there's definitely enough for a small herd of cows here. You know, 3-4 cows, a bull, that would do me and my friends, and probably the neighbour, for meat for every year. Just a small little herd. You know, if I want milk, maybe a dairy goat. I do like dairy goats. I do prefer a Jersey cow though to goats, but goats are a little bit easier to handle. Well, a little bit, a damn lot easier to handle. They're just way more naughty, very mischievous. You know, that animal is always getting itself into trouble, or making trouble. I'm loving this bush. Absolutely fantastic. Not loving the breeze though, absolutely damn freezing. Alright, so here we have over there, you can see native grasslands. Now I own another bloody wombat hole. See the square poo? That's wombat poo, square poo. So he's actually been here not that long ago. Well, I hope I'm not disturbing him. Oh, I can see, I don't know if you can see through the trees there because the zoom's bad on this GoPro. There are a heap of massive kangaroos. What about if we just try and sneak up to them just so we can get some pictures? Oh, no, they're gone, they see me. But you can see that's sort of the native grassland. And that's sort of the grassland we want to encourage, but with trees. And that way, everything's working in harmony. I mean, the tea tree that is stopping erosion, but apart from stopping erosion, not that great. And you can do the same with grass. This isn't a high flow area, it's just very slight, not steep, just slight. So it'll be alright. And then all this wood, the ground. Need to get a good forestry mulcher. And anything small can just be smacked and mulch straight in, and then the big stuff, we're gonna have to pick that up, pile it up, just let it rot, or burn it and then scatter the ash over the ground. I know, we'll decide. Maybe leave a comment with what you would do. I'm a little bit new to this. I've done farming, but never homesteading like this. This is a new brilliant challenge for me. Alright, so we're going to be coming up to the dam soon. See these massive rocks. All volcanic rock. A lot of quartz in them, so that's some fresh poop there. Not sure if that's deer or wallaby. I know there are deer here. Geez, another thing I don't see on this little hike today. Hope we don't see a big stag. He might be a bit grumpy at me. Doubt it. You win no awards for getting gored by a bloody deer. They're usually a pretty shy animal though, so... Ooh, almost tripped over. Don't think that would be any problem. Alright, let's come through here. Alright, coming down this try find an animal trail here so we can walk through. I know my dams will be around here somewhere. My sense of direction isn't that bad. I know, they're just over here. Oh, you can see this tea tree's actually fairly tight. That's alright. That's why we wear long sleeves. Here we go. Okay, we're back. Whoop! Almost tripped over. That would have been funny. Well, for you, not for me. Okay, so we're back to this fence. Sorry about that. Okay, so this fence is in the wrong spot. Yeah, I'll move that. Put it on the list, eh? Oh, through the fence. Down in here. Like, you can see, like, such good grass, if it's allowed to grow. Surrounded by tea tree. Okay, and now this does look like really good grass, but if I walk down into there, you'll find it is very swampy. Well, it should be. I know, I might get caught out on my BS, eh? Yeah, look at it. This is swamp ground all through here. Look here, the boggy, very boggy. Up here, you can see going through the bog. You got a bit of a river going. You've got water flow. It's all flowing downhill through this swamp. And my dam is just over that tea tree there, so let's walk back. Let's walk to the dam. And I've got two dams. This will be the higher dam or the south dam. And we've got a northern dam, which is the lower dam. And then after those dams, we go in to my neighbour's lake. Alright, so I think, otherwise this video is going to be so long, I'll cut the video here and I'll see you using the animal trails to get out of that swamp. You can sort of see it, I hope you can see it. But the animals know best. Follow their trail, at least they've cleared it a little bit. Alright, now we're onto the path here. This goes down to the dam. This land has so much potential, just so much. And the two dams, they're in the middle of my property, smack bang in the middle, with the swampy creek running through the centre. There you go, dam number one. You can see they've put a cement thing in there for a sump pump or something, and they've got some 2-inch pipe there for pumping out. Oh, you know what, let's go have a look. If I fall in though, it's your fault. Okay, it's my own fault for being a bit too curious, but let's do it now in winter before the danger noodle season, which is snakes, because there's going to be bloody a heap of snakes here. Okay, straight onto it, a little bit freaky, some bones. What do you reckon they're from? Well, hopefully not a human. No, it looks like a wallaby. Oh my god. No, I'm not going all the way out on that. Okay, yeah. It's alright. Looks like the type of thing Freddy Krueger will come into. Or is it Jason will jump out at me at? Every horror movie right now, you're sort of yelling at the cinema, freaking get out of there, you idiot. Okay, that's an easier path. Oh, here we go. It's skull and part of the skull and vertebrae of something. Lightweight, I'd say that's a wallaby. It's definitely not human, so we don't care about anything other than that, do we? Alright, dam number one. Cool. Murky, swampy. but plenty of water. And I'll show you why there's plenty of water. You know, because it probably doesn't look like it, just looks like a dirt swamp, eh? But if we come over here, oh crap, there is something dead in there. Well, you're not going to be drinking that water, are you? Well, you never will going to anyway. So that's a kangaroo, a dead one. We're in the swamp. I'm going to have to remove that. Let it out so it can rot properly and break down. And so it's not fouling all the water for the rest of the animals around here. I mean, I don't do anything with this water, but you know, if we can help nature along, we do. But you can see good water flow. You know, decent. You know, I'm not going to be drawing hydropower from here, but you know, it's decent. Alright, the other dam's down here, and this side of the property, which is about another 50 acres this way, I've walked it with my dad a few weeks ago, and the majority of it was like this, so it doesn't even need much work done to it, you know, if any. Maybe just livestock putting on it and fenced properly, and it would be right. I mean, I'm not running a million stock, as I said, just enough to, you know, for meat for yourself, for your family, you know, your neighbour, your friends. You know, you've got to share the love around. And then you know that it's been raised ethically, on pasture, no hormones, none of that bullshit that some of these big commercial farms do in the feedlots. You know, a million animals squeezed in. Good amount of grass, it's everywhere, good ground cover. Some good logs too. They've been here for a long time. More signs of some pigs. So according to the guy that delivered my tractor that logged the property, when they logged it, this part of the property they couldn't really access because of the swamp, and they didn't do it from the other side. So a lot of the trees that if they did drop them, they left them. But as you can see, there are some big, beautiful trees here. And I know on the state government map, they've actually got the protected area on the other side where there's fresh saplings. So I'll send them an email and the right GPS coordinates, because this is supposed to be the protected forest on the property. There's not much, it's only a little bit, and it's only on a map. It's not official, not officially protected. But you know, if we can conserve a little bit, we will. I mean, there's no need for me to cut any of this down. There's no need at all. I mean, look at the gaps between the trees. You can graze this, conserve this, work with nature. I'm not a hippie, not a greenie, but if I don't need to cut it down, I'm not going to, am I? I mean, what am I going to do with a log that big anyway? I mean, it's crazy. I mean, look how big these are. I mean, you know, I'm not in the redwoods, but you know, look at the size of these trunks. You know, they're massive. I'm never going to fit that on a sawmill. I won't even fit my bloody chainsaw through it. Beautiful forest though. Absolutely beautiful. Yeah, so this is a... Sorry, switching my camera around. Someone sacked the cameraman, he's shit. Oh shit, that's me. I'm a one-man show. That's alright, I hope you guys don't mind. If you're watching this far, then you don't mind, do you? It's up here. I'm not quite sure what species of tree it is. I will go talk to some experts about it. But this is what's supposed to be protected. Not the crap over there. This. As I said, it's not officially protected anyway. You know, it's just marked on the map, you know, please don't log. It could be rare species. But these are the trees. And they're beautiful. Absolutely stunning. Beautiful trees. All right, let's get moving. I'm getting a workout here. Would you believe I used to run 10k a day in Sydney? Last 3 weeks since moving here, I ran once, actually. I ran once. And for 3 weeks with a 20-litre container of diesel, because when they dropped the tractor off, he forgot to bring the ramps. So we had to go find a little hill where we could back the truck up to it and then drive the tractor off. And well, you know, long story short, we got it off, but the guy I bought it off, I don't know, a little bit stingy. There was only about a litre of diesel in there, and I wasn't going to risk it trying to drive it back and then working out how to bleed it and stuff, because I didn't know how to do that. Turns out bleeding it is simple and easy, because I've done a service on it since. Oh, there's a wallaby, a kangaroo, should I say. So wildlife all around us. If I wasn't yapping so much, I'd probably see a lot more. More of that forest that's supposed to be in the protected zone. It's absolutely beautiful. Just, you know, just amazing. You know, I feel so lucky and privileged to be able to own this. So I've been here for 3 weeks by myself. Honestly, this is the most I have talked the entire time. Sorry if you hate my voice. I know my Instagram videos of a couple of the old fatty white men have been a bit critical of my voice, you know, but they're probably the type of person that's critical of everything. So I'm not going to pay much attention to them. So it's sort of like this, you know, beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And this is native, well, I say native grassland as I'm standing in front of a bloody stump. You can see, like, you know, there wasn't that many trees. Want to have a look at the lake? Yeah, let's go. Now, maybe do a bit more exercise, why not? I could do with losing a few pounds. Yeah. Sorry, I'm rambling. Anyway, let's explore this property. Don't know if you can hear that, but that's cockatoos. Cheeky little buggers they are. Smart. I've got to say, they're about as smart as half of the Australians on the continent. You know, they're a bit like dolphins. You know, cockatoos, they're so smart they can work out how to open a bin. I know some humans that don't know how to do that. Wombat holes, another one. Oh, there's some fresh-ish tracks in there. Gee, she's deep. Oh yeah, I won't want to stick my head down there too far. I might make him angry. Wombat's protected anyway, so by that I'd never eat it. It just means leave it alone. You know, don't be a pest to it. If you see it, film it, you know, say hello to it, but don't go chasing it around. Don't be a clown. Alright, we'll walk over to the lake. I'll show you the lake. It's my neighbour's lake. He's got trout in there and stuff. He's very proud of it. I'll show you the lake. Then we'll go back, look at the second dam and walk back to the house. Then I think that will be enough of the tour. But I'll do a little bit of talking about my plans for the property, what I feel homesteading is, and all that sort of great stuff. You know, I'm not talking off a script, I'm just going what's coming into my head at the time. So, as I said, sorry if I'm rambling, but, you know, feel free to stop watching the video if you don't like it. I'm new to all this YouTube, Instagram stuff. You know, I'm just a country boy. I don't know how to do any of it. A one-man band. I've got a pretty stock standard iPhone and a GoPro, that's all. So you're never going to get great quality stuff out of me. By that I mean film quality. I hope the quality comes from maybe the love of the land and the love of homesteading. You know, because at the end of the day, that's all that really matters, isn't it? You know, connecting like-minded people, encouraging the next generation to do this. Alright, so I'm now on my neighbour's property.
Lucky I live in Australia, not the USA, you know, probably shoot me. No, he wouldn't. My neighbour's really good. I actually bought the property off him. So he said I can come down here anytime I want. He doesn't live here, so he very much appreciates me keeping an eye on the land for him. And this is his lake. Now look at that, guys. Isn't that just amazing? Just incredible. It's in the middle of the snowy mountains here. And this beautiful massive lake. And you can hear the frogs, the crickets. I can't hear any. Oh, no, there's a cricket. Yeah. All this native grasslands. All right, I'm going to cut the video and we'll come back at the second. Okay, so we're coming up now to the second dam. This one's a little bit bigger, and it looks like they have been pumping out of it as well. I am not sure how deep these are. Definitely not very deep where you can see the reeds, because obviously they need to be grounded in something. You can sort of see the lighter part, which is dirty water. That might be the deeper parts, but honestly, you know, I actually don't think they're that deep. And again, looks like the type of thing, if I get too close, you know, Freddy Krueger's going to come out and, you know, have his sweet little way with me. And just with the amount of flow, you know, there's going to be, you know, hundreds of thousands of litres in here, backed up. Do I even need to dig it deeper? You know, do I need a massive dam, all exposed to the sun and stuff? You know, maybe in this case, nature does know best. Leave it as it is. There's enough to pump out of and get it up near that pond, near the house. You know, more than enough. And, you know, there's really good flow through it. So, you know, obviously improve this bank, because I want to be able to access the second half of my property. But maybe fence both of them off. It is a riparian area, which means we don't want animal waste or animals going through it. So, you know, maybe that's the go. Instead of digging it out and joining them together and making a big lake from here up until that sort of other tree there that's in the middle, where that's where the other dam is. Anyway, let's walk back to the house. So, I guess I should probably say why I moved away from Sydney, you know. I guess you could say I had almost everything there. Just a bit about me. I guess I had to restart my life at 30. I lost everything, you know. I had a goat dairy. My parents were involved. They got a divorce. Everything got messy. The dairy had to be sold, but then at the same time, I got hit by floods. I lost everything in it. Walked out, ended up a bit homeless. You know, whatever. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Moved to Adelaide, got myself on my feet, got some jobs. Ended up getting a pretty decent government job. That's really enabled me to do this. You know, having that flexibility to work from home. And my boss putting their trust in me to not be a bludger, pretty much. Sorry, going up a hill, unfit. God, need to lay off the meat pies. Ah, kidding. All right, so this is a little annex. I think this would be perfect, right? Park your tractor in here. Use all this inside bit as a shed. You know, your oils, your fuels and all that garbage. Sawmill up here. So when we're cutting trees down, we're actually milling them into wood. Fence posts. You know, lumber's expensive, or wood's expensive. I got 3 pieces of wood the other day, $150. My goodness. Mate, I'm going to buy a sawmill. This trail goes a bit up to the house, and then this one around here also, but it's a long way. So I'm just going to check the trail cam, see if I caught any naughty animals on here. And we'll walk up here, We'll have a talk about my version of homesteading and my plans for this little farm or homestead, whatever you want to call it. You know, a little bit of paradise. All right, nothing on the trail cam. I must have it in a garbage spot, so I will move that. Let's walk up here. So look, homesteading for me, it's all about being self-sufficient. And honestly, you know, Rome wasn't built in a day. I can't move here to a new property or vacant property and immediately have chickens and goats and cows and vegetables and just have everything in, right? It's a lifetime of work. Everything happens over a few years. So, you know, all I have to say is everyone calm down, okay? There are people homesteading out there much better than me. There's people homesteading out there much worse than me. It's all our own version. You do what you can to be self-sufficient. Oh, it looks like they've had a tank up here at one point. 2-inch pipe. Bet you that connects down to the dam down there, eh? And they had a tank here and then taken it. Weird. Yeah, some Australians are real stingy and weird like that. So this bush is less good than the bush we were on before. There are a lot more sticks on the ground, a little less grass. House is just up here. So my plans for the future are, let me adjust the camera, to be as self-sufficient as possible, to encourage other people to be able to live this lifestyle, and to ensure that this lifestyle does not die out because of corporate greed or political points where people will need to live in a city because corporations are the people donating and lobbying politicians, or they don't want to spend money to maintain roads out to where we live. I mean, surely COVID taught us what risk we are when we import everything. Like, surely COVID taught us that. You'd think so, but you know what short memories we have. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm a realist. I'm a country boy. Everyone deserves to be able to live like this. We've got so much vacant property out there. It's insane, the amount of vacant property out there, but people just can't do it because there aren't enough jobs. And with people being able to work remotely, they should be able to do it. There's no reason. If you can sit in Sydney and work a job remotely, you can sit in the regions and do it too. It's just employers, for some reason, have a stick up their butt. A very big one when it comes to this. So that's me. All right, let's go have a look at this pond here, which I want to turn into a natural swim pond. Maybe put a few fish, some yabbies, and our wetlands filter. Anyway, here it is. And you can see the house is right there. And this dam is very deep, but as I said, leaking like a dam strainer. No clay. You need clay to hold the dam. Or a dam liner, so some big ass rocks in the middle. So I'll just maybe build some dirt up around them and then just stick the liner on top of them. Yeah, that'd be alright. You almost build a little island in the middle, couldn't you? We'll see, we'll see. Summer job. Stay tuned for summer. We'll see what we get done. Here's another view of my house. Alright. So alright guys, I think that's enough from me for today, or maybe even the week. I hope you've liked the video. I hope I haven't rambled too much. And, you know, if you liked the video, share it around. Got to share the love. I'm not going to beg you to subscribe or anything. Oh, almost tripped over. Well, that would have been funny, wouldn't it? But anyway, later guys, peace out. Have a good day.